Okay, let me just go to my content and make sure that everything is in order. I want to go to live and I should see, yes. I can share a link. Just quickly post that on here. And let's hope that this time we can get it to work. I should be going live here. Yes, it looks like it. Why is it private? I don't know. Visibility public, let's do that. I should be live now. You should be able to come in and hopefully you can see it. Yeah. Let me quickly check my phone if the notification goes out, if I get notified or if it shows up. Yes, there we are. Okay. So we're good. Yesterday I did a stream and it crashed. So we have 4 sounds that we want to recreate here, 4 sound design requests, which we're going to try to do today. And hopefully we don't get a crash anymore. So let's just listen to the first one. Is that the sound request stream today? Yes. Yes, we're doing sound request. Good Sunday. Thank you. Same to you. Nice to see you all in here. I should probably plug in my headphones. This is what we're going to be listening for, or trying to recreate these 2 bass lines in here, the stabby one and the offbeat one. I'm not going to play it for too long because I don't want to get copyright stricken, even though I think with these kind of streams it's almost inevitable that that happens. So we're going to start with the first one and I'll just listen to that sound there. You can hear it's a little bit of a weird sound. You can see there is this kind of processing thing going on. There's a lot of stuff on this bass line, so it's hard to tell. But it does look like there is this phase thing where the phase becomes slower. So we can try to emulate that with the ICANN-Has kick maybe. Let's listen to what we have. I first want the key of this. E0. Okay. Your request included gated valley. Let's see. Yes, this one. The glassy texture. That will be the one after this. Okay. In terms of texture, I already kind of like where we're going. There's a little bit more of almost like a formant sound on top of it. Maybe we can get there with these sounds here. Kind of like that, maybe a bit less. Let's add some noise to it. It's strange, it's a weird sound. Maybe. We're getting kind of close, but it's doing this weird thing. I don't know what that is, why it's like repeating like that. Let's make it a bit. Okay, let's see if we can add some distortion to it. Bit lower maybe. Okay. Sounds kind of weird, but it works. Let's try a little bit of EQing on top of it. It's really hard to tell how this bass line sounds because there's a lot of stuff on top of it. Let's add a LFO tool for the sidechain. Something like that in terms of the kind of the quality of the sound. The tone is not quite there. It's maybe a bit darker like that. That's close enough. In terms of like functional sound design, which is where what does it do? It's like the same sound, right? Sorry. So if we look at functionally what this bass line is doing, it's just like this big stab. And that's kind of what we're creating here. And it has a bit of noise on top of it. And then you can see if you zoom in that you have this particular wave form here where you have a very fast oscillation going slower and slower throughout that. Right, if I zoom out till here, you can see that pretty much this is kind of this slowing down oscillation. And that's usually has to do with phase distortion from processing. But it can also mean that a waveform like this is used, the ICANN kick, which we slightly modified and then put a formant filter on it. And then with a little bit of compression or soft clipping, some dimension, no hyper, and then a low pass filter. As well as, I think that a little bit of sidechaining, actually quite a lot of sidechaining. You can see that we get this sound. Sorry. So that's functionally basically the same sound. Obviously the exact texture isn't there, but you can play around with that and get as close to that texture as you want. Trying to find the best of these bass sounds. This is really hard because again, this is a full track. But I can hear some weird clicking in the top range. So we'll try to emulate that. I'll start by just making a bass sound. Let's set up our points here. Like that. The envelope needs 1/8. It seems to be a pretty full base, as in no volume drop off. And we add our velocity, because that's kind of just how I do it standard. And let's also set that up for oscillator B, if we ever need it. Okay, let's play around with the time. Let's set that correctly, and then forgot to set this to envelope, I think. I think what I want to do here is slightly detune them and give them a little phase offset. Okay. Let's give a little bit of saturation. It's a little bit hard to tell what exactly we're missing here. I like that click that it brings, so let's just play in our MIDI notes. Our kick is completely different than the original as well, so it's really hard to tell. Let's do some processing on that. I'm not going to change the kick, I'm not going to find a better kick for this. I want to go through this pretty quickly. A little bit of power there. Let's see if we can see. Okay, so this seems to have more third harmonic stuff happening. So let's find an EQ and just boost the mid-range here a little bit to get a little bit of a boost to that. Yeah, the kick could be better, but that's okay for now. It's also like overlapping with what we're doing. So let's just slightly make that shorter. Oh. That's sounding pretty good. I want some mid-range distortion, kind of bringing it out a little bit, because this has some. It's almost like there is like high-end stuff or like high mid-range stuff on top of it, which is being distorted and like delayed and stuff. So I want to set up a very quick. Let's try it like this. This might be the best way to get that using a Redux, and then just setting this. very, very short, kind of. Bit higher maybe. Okay, we're going to duplicate that over here for all of them, and just a little bit of high-end extra basically. Let's just keep that high. You could set this a little bit lower, so like, yeah, let's try 60, something like that. Till there. Something like that is okay. We probably want to process them together a bit. We'll give this one a bit more stereo width. Just a tad. And then we'll give them some stereo width together as well. Now obviously it's going to sound like trash right now. But that's already going to sound a lot better. Let's give this some dynamics to put it in place. I like to start off with the dance preset here. Something like that. It's not exactly the same, but in terms again of functional sound design, it's doing the same thing. So again, this bassline is just 1/8 note on the filter cutoff and then 2 on the level. Here what I've done is I've made a custom saw wave by removing these harmonics here. And then this is phased a little bit randomly around the spike, whereas this is sitting exactly before the spike. So that gives it a little bit of an extra click and a little bit of extra randomness at the transient. And that goes through a soft clipper. That then goes through a equalizer, which does a little bit of a boost here at the 3rd harmonic. And then we have Vitamin, just giving us a tight low end, and then we have this Redux for the extreme high end. I think I can bring that down a bit. Something like that is more appropriate, yeah. So this gives it the high end, and then we also have a stereo here, stereo spread and stereo control, and then it goes through dynamics processing, and then you get this sound. So I might try a little bit of trying to get the melody right. You can try to do that. So we continue here with bass lines like that, except here. This might be a different bass line, so we might try to recreate that as well. So we go here, there. G sharp. And then we have one final F sharp, I think. In terms of melody, that sounds about right to me. Obviously, it's hard to tell with everything that we have going on top of it. There is a bass sound here that I want to see if I can get that to work. It's just this stab here. We might be able to do that with just a small modification to this by turning down that, and then we give this 12 dBs per octave. Something like that, I guess. Let's see if this is perfect here. Here there's a little variation on it, I think. Maybe something like this, is it? I would say so, yeah. Okay, so that's the first request done. We're now going to get into FG's request, which is Gated Valley. Some kind of cool synth sound. That glassy sound there. So the way I like to do these things is with both a tone. Let's see if we can get something cool. I first have to check the key of this track, obviously. It seems like an F to me. E0 maybe. Let's try E. Okay, I'm going to add a no window sound here. And then we'll add a bit of noise to the mix as well. I'm going to set a very short randomness there. So you get something like that, and then we want to go through a phaser, and this is where the magic happens. We're going to set very little depth, very high frequency, and then this goes to random 2. And you get that kind of glassy, weird sound. You might want to add, let's add a comb filter to this maybe. See if we can get some more crazy tones out of it. might just do this. That already kind of gives you the glassy vibe. Let's set it to 99. I'm going to use the delay from Ableton itself, because I know that the delay from Serum isn't really well designed for these very short times, and I don't really like the sound of it. So I'm going to find the note of E0, and I'm going to do 1000 divided by the frequency, and then you divide by 2 until you get the frequency that you'd like, so 24.27 milliseconds. And the way I do that is with this chart here. So you go with this chart, you find the key that you want, get the frequency, go 1000 divided by this, divided by 2, divided by 4 maybe, and then you get a value that you can paste in there to get an octave of that sound there. And then you get like this glassy, weird texture. You can decide the length with the feedback. That basically becomes your release. Now let's quickly fix up this sound. And let's listen to. It's kind of what's happening in this sound as well. It's just a few random notes playing, right? Maybe it needs a little bit power, some more attack. Yeah, we can give it some attack. I'm going to do that with Kilohertz Transient Shaper, just before the delay, hopefully. Okay, that's kind of what I want. I want to smear it out a bit, so for that what's a really cool trick is to use a pitch shifter and then go up. Of course it needs to be a little bit more in your face, kind of in front of you. Let's do, to control this amount, I'm going to use a MIDI shaper so that it doesn't post ring so much. So MIDI shaper is really cool. Let's set this to 16 notes. We map that to there. Nice. That's kind of the sound that we're after. This glossy, weird kind of texture sound, basically. We might want to turn up the frequency a little bit. We get a bit of stereo in here. It's the kind of same glossy texture thing. Let me just turn off my phone really quick because I'm getting all kinds of messages. My camera seems to have deactivated again. So I'm just going to try to reactivate it. There we are. Do I have a simple baseline to paste in? Not really. I can quickly get an idea by going to let's add a kick and then we'll add a baseline to that. I have no idea if this is in key or if it's going to sound out of tune. It might sound completely out of tune, but that's okay. Let's set you to 16 notes. It's strange that it starts so late. Basses like these, like it's wrongfully sampled or something. Okay. If to tune it up 5 semitones like that. And this goes to -8, something like that. The bassline is very weak, I know, but just as a test. I hope this gives you an idea of the process that you go through. The main bulk of the process is that we're creating this weird tone. We can even add, as I said, the comb filter, or this tone. This is maybe a bit too extreme. And then you just go through the phaser, and the phaser is doing almost all of the work. Without it, it's going to completely without it, right? It doesn't sound great at all. We have a hyper dimension to get some stereo. We have a reverb for some reverb, and then we cut the lows. That goes through the transient shaper and the compression. And then the second important part is this tune delay. So that's also important, and as you can see some settings here, but you can play around with these settings. It's just that you use the calculation that I showed before to get the number here right, so that it's in key, basically. Then I have pitch shifter. You can do +12. It doesn't have to be. It's a little bit darker sounding like this. I like the kind of grit that this adds. And then obviously delay and cutting the lows, and that's the patch. Here I have to check what I was supposed to make, if it's the bass line or a sound in here. Let me listen to see if I remember. I think if I go down here, track name is from Silent. This electricity sounds that start at 110. So that's this sound there, that crazy in your face kind of mono lead sound. Let me put chat back up on the screen. There we are. First important, I think, is the key. I think there is some comb filtering on it that's giving it its tone. Maybe not. You kind of get the same kind of tone here. But it has a lot more grit towards the high end, I would say. Maybe an extra movement here. And then some filtering on that. Of course we want to remove all of the low end. And we're kind of getting towards that electricity sound. A little bit of delay on top of it. I wanted to always start at the same position. Mainly this region here, which is like 1 to 2K. Maybe there's a weird texture to it. I cannot really explain it. It's almost like both of these combined, maybe. It's almost like it's pitched up in a weird way that I don't really understand. Maybe... Let's try a pitch shifter here. It's really hard to do these sounds in a full mix. It's really extremely hard. This kind of gets the more electric feeling. It's kind of similar. It's not the same. It's not the same. I don't really know how to tackle this. I have to see who requested this. I think it was Psyder, yeah. I'm sorry, but this is, I think, the best that I can do here. Because this sound is... It's in a full mix. There is some percussions or some weird sounds on top of it here. And then it kind of comes in here, but I also feel like it's already playing there. So it's really hard to tell exactly what's going on with this sound. I mean, you should do something with some acid sounds next if you're down. Yeah, I have some more requests standing. I have one more request here. And then I want to go into atmospheric sound design. We might include like an acid sound in that, because that could be pretty cool. Let's first listen to this. I think the request on this one was the bass line or something. The atmospheric sound starting at 113 for this one. So here we are looking for an atmosphere. I think that's just a flute sample, to be honest. How you would do that in terms of creating it. Maybe we have a flute that sounds like it. But if I play it like this, I should be back any second now. There we are. Let's try to get the F tone in there. I'm sorry for the crash, that's just my internet being weird. And a bit of a loop. To give this the kind of atmospheric sound, we're going to add just a full reverb on top of it. I'm just going to mangle the sound until we get a cool tone out of it. Let's see what key we're in. So this is now playing a C3, which means if I go down an octave and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's give this a bit of attack. And now with the scale we can kind of bring out that mid-tone that we have. So it kind of goes like this, these up and quickly down sounds like this, and it goes with a big bubble here. So up until like 100 something. These are 90, and let's bring these down to like 60, 80 maybe. And then it's just pitch modulation. Maybe something like this. In terms of atmosphere, that's pretty close to where I want to get it. Right? I do like that sound that we have there. How long have I been streaming for? It's 15 minutes now. It's annoying that it goes like that. But I'm pretty sure that this is just a sample. We can give it a little wobble. The final thing you can do here is with the shifter, do a little wobbling. So set up frequency, amount. We'll do a sine. We can set up different amounts for different parts here. Something like that. I do kind of like that. It's a little bit more brighter, the something like that in terms of the extra brightness that adds to it. It's a little closer to the sample here. I hope everything is still working. I just got some weird behavior from my computer. My stream seems to still be up, so that's okay. But I got some weird flash happening, and last time that, or yesterday when I was streaming, I got a flash like that and everything crashed. So I'm going to save this project real quick. So if anything crashes, then we have it saved, at least. Yeah, but these are the sounds that I wanted to work on today. I guess if there's somebody who wants to put something in Discord, then we can quickly wait for any new requests coming in. But otherwise, I want to go into some atmospheric sound design. So if you have a request, let me know either here in the chat for YouTube or in Discord. Otherwise, I'm going to open up the other project and I'm gonna go into some atmospheric sound design, maybe about an hour and a half of that, and then maybe we'll do something on a project or something. I'll have to see. Because I kind of also want to record something and like the next video, and I also want to work on my website a bit, so I have a little bit of stuff to do still. So I'm not streaming that long, maybe till like 9:30 maybe, maximum. I don't see any chat messages, so I'm just going to assume that nobody else has a request, and we're gonna get into sound design. So that's this session here. Yes, we do want to save these changes because we've made some cool stuff. And we're going to get into atmospheric sound design. Before we get fully immersed into that, what I want to do is I want to take a little break, as always, to refresh my ears, to get some pause in me before we go into the next section. And while we're doing that, I'll quickly put on the track that I've been working on yesterday or the day before yesterday, mainly 2 days in a row, basically. Yesterday evening, once I found out that I couldn't stream anymore, I prepared the video and made sure that everything was set up correctly, and then I went to the project that I was working on, that's the 76 that I haven't shown off before on stream, and I worked on that, and then Saturday evening as well. So I'll quickly put that on there. Hello Mindbee, how are you doing? Great to have you here. As I said, I'm quickly going to work on this, on the sound, I'm sorry. I'm quickly going to work, I'm quickly going to take a break, and then we'll work on atmospheric sound design. And yeah, that stuff should be loading. I'll just play this. This is about 5 minutes, so I may play a little bit into the second intro, but I'll just solo this so you can hear it. This is not mastered, this is just mixed, so this hasn't mastering on it like my stuff normally has. The whole goal of this project is to learn to make a sound without, or make a track without having a starting master on it, which is how I usually work. So here, I'll quickly turn off my camera as well, because it doesn't work anyway. I'll be right back, give me 5 to 10 minutes. I'm doing fine, I'm also very good. Hopefully we don't have the same problems that we had yesterday with the stream, that it crashes and stuff like that. But for now, let's just play this, and then I'll be right back.
I enable you to tie your digital persona to your actual physical person by integrating technology into your body. And that's not giving you a digital voice that can speak for you in machine's native language, but also if you can't speak for yourself.
I am mute. Yes, now I should be back. I'm sorry. As I was saying, thank you for the compliment, Mind B. I'm glad that you like it. This is a cool atmosphere. I like that sound. But to explain what was happening, we're going to do atmospheric sound design. I'm trying to get to 26, 27 today, so we'll make 6 or 7 atmosphere sounds in the key of C. Where we're listening to these to kind of get back into the vibe and to see what we were doing. So let's just continue there. That one. And then a brighter one. This is a pretty cool sound. I wonder how I did that. Is that the Vital just all by itself doing it? Yeah. It's the random amplitude thing. So, let's just get into the next one. We'll make our clip. I think I want to make a bright and long evolving pad. It's always evolving. That's kind of the style that I'm going for. But we want this kind of long sustained background element in it. And the way I want to do that is maybe a little bit different than usual. We'll find a good sampler or a sample for this. But I'll just type in a keyword like pad and I go to all results and I just find different maybe like this. Can I reverse it in here? I can play it backwards, so that's no problem. He's at a very small loop length. To widen sounds where you mute odd harmonics left and mute even harmonics right on the saw wave, for example. Yes, it's a very cool trick, and in that last track I used it for I think 2 synth sounds that are in that last track that I just let you listen to. So in this thing here. We might experiment a little bit with it today, although I would do that in, it might be possible in Serum to do that as well, so I'll have to see. Let's see if we can first tune this. So I'm going to turn off the ambience for now. And then I'm going to modulate the start basically. Let's go all the way to the end there. Okay. If we put just the ambience on it. Seems to be hovering around D sharp. Okay, we seem to be around C now. It's really hard to tell which notes are being played because this isn't really that tonal. What we can do is add a resonators to it to tune it. And I'm just going to do octaves like this. Let's tune it a bit. We can also use Rift, which also has like a tuning function. That's maybe a bit too much. Yeah, towards the end the feedback goes too high. Because it can go above 100%. Okay. I do like this sound, the way it sounds right now. So let's record it and see if we can get a good recording of it that's usable. So we're working on basically a long sustained pad right now, and it seems that the fluctuations that are in there in terms of volume are kind of acceptable within that range. We have a little bit of extra volume there, and maybe towards the end as well. Little bit there that goes up, but it's basically as loud as there. So that's perfect. We can now consolidate this. Let's first add our fade to make sure that the reverb turns off there. Yeah, it could be a lot louder. But it's a very cool sound. I like the way that came out. So this is going to be our first sample here. Let's actually, for the next one, 21C. Let's try to work on that technique that Dash Glitch showed off, which is that harmonic splitting technique, basically. So we'll need a wavetable for that. And I'm going to do it in Vital because I'm not 100% sure how you would do this in Serum. I think if I add the folder from my Serum that I can open Serum tables. Go in here. Yeah, we just get a whole bunch of different tables, and I'm just going to choose a free or one at random, basically. Make sure that it's kind of what we're looking for. Something gritty, maybe. That looks kind of fun. And here we'll do the same thing. I can uncouple my mouse like this, and then I can just find a whole bunch of different tones. This one. Possible to do sort of choir path, maybe with some format filters. Let's try. I think this has format stuff in here. It would be cool to do a format filter, yeah. But for this, basically, we would need to go in here. Can you then not modify this wavetable? No. Maybe I do need to do this in Serum. Maybe there is a way to do that in Serum, because I know it is possible to do. And we'll have to just find some tones here. I'm trying to see if I can find that same one again. This one, system sound, is the one that we were using. Okay, if I go to process, I can squarify this one. Process squarify. Okay, and then we can squarify alt a different one. Let's go with like Monster 5 or something. Multis. Squarify. Alt. I think I need to do this one, right? So does it on all of them? Yeah, these ones aren't done yet, so we need to multiply. Oh, that was wrong. Squarify there. Okay, now we have the setup here. Let's make our MIDI clip. We can try something with a format filter. Let's just first hear what these sound like morphing between each other. If I put down a note. Kind of like a screamer thing there. We'll have this be like a wobble and then another wobble going up again. Something like that. It's not really going to become a choir sound, but it is a formatted sound. I could place this one lower maybe. Do duplicate, turn that down in volume, and then we'll set up velocity volume. That does sound nice. I do like that sound. Although it's not exactly what MindBee asked for, which is like choir stuff. And I don't want to use samples in this whole thing. I do want to synthesize everything myself or in this pack. So that's one of the rules that I'm giving myself. We're having a little bit of weird volume here. That's strange. Maybe we can boost it a little bit there towards the end to give that a bit more volume as well. Maybe like so. Just a little bit of extra boost in there. Nice like that. I forgot to record everything, but that's okay. We can just add that to that. And then go like this. There should not be any reverb in here. There is. Okay. Let's delete that then. Yeah, I'm boosting it by 24 dB, but that's okay. We can just turn it down to 0, back again, and then it's a clean recording. C. There we are. That's the next one done. Okay. Going to close all of this up. I think I want to start over again in terms of the track. Create a new recording track. So we duplicate this. Call this Alt 2. This goes into the Alt bin, which is here. I think this is the right color. Yeah. And then we can remove all of this stuff from the recording track. And just set this to no input. Okay. We can basically just continue on going. Also save the effects chain with all of the synths in there. That takes a little while to do, but that's very useful so that I have all of the effect sounds that I create also as like patches. If I ever need to recreate something or change something, then I can do that. It's going to take a while for it to load in here. Oh. Well, there goes Ableton. It did not like me trying to save that audio track or that group track. So that's annoying. I hope we can recover our work. Would I like to recover it? Yes. Although those last two patches are not going to be recovered, I think. Because I never saved the project. So then the synth sounds aren't actually stored in the project itself. I think that VST3 fixes that, by the way. If you ever have that if you have crashes, then it's useful to have VST3, because I think plugin states are saved in the like undo project of Ableton. It's taken a while. Get 12. It takes a long time to recover it sometimes. This is taking longer than I thought it would take. There we are. Okay. Let's just quickly see if it did save something. Yeah. No, it crashed. Yeah, it did save something. Okay. Yeah, that's just the project and the group. So this is all saved. It is weird that Ableton doesn't autosave. There are plugins, not plugins, Max for Live devices, and even the LAS Live Enhancement Suite has an option for autosaving. But all of the autosave functions that I could find will not overwrite your file. It will only create new files, so it will create new files for every like half an hour that you're working on a project, and that's not something that I want. I want it to just overwrite the file that I'm working on. So if I ever find a feature like that, that would be nice, yeah. But unfortunately, I don't think there is something like that right now in Ableton that just autosaves it. Apart from the stuff that, yeah, I cannot delete this, actually. I need to make a new MIDI track before I can delete that, because you cannot have empty groups. I was like sitting here waiting for that stuff to delete, which I expect would take a long time, but yeah, you can see that's taking a bit of time. Okay, so now we should have a completely new setup here. This one needs to be turned off, and we can start work on a new sound. I think I'll do another sustained pad sound. That's not the last one we did, I think, because this was the sustained one. This is a shorter one. So I'm varying up the lengths all of the time, basically. Let's do something cool with Faceplant for a change. Just a little bit of grit in there. Maybe we can do that twice. And then slightly offset these faces. Yeah, you can kind of mix and match in there. Versions files. Okay. Yeah, that's not what I want. I want it to just save as a normal file, basically, not overwriting the file that I'm currently working on. I want to lose my old ideas and have them replaced by better ideas. Kind of, if that makes sense. We'll make a second tone here. Something like that, and then we'll add a bit of saw wave to that. Or sine wave, I should say. Let's offset the face a little bit here. Offset these. Like that. And then we just mix these two together as well. That's cool. That looks like a strange, cool tone that we can work with. Something cool you can do here is use Slice EQ, where we just create a whole bunch of peaks and dips, maybe like this, this, and this. And then you can play with the offset. That's pretty cool. We can do a few of them. Maybe I have one that's 2 peaks and a dip. And closer together, like this, with more sharper Q values, like that, maybe. Something like this. Emulated sitar. It has a little bit of that feeling, yeah. And this goes through. That. We're playing a C0 here. Maybe we can try to play a C1. I think C0 sounds better, to be honest. So now it's just a matter of setting these up. Just kind of going slowly up and down again. Maybe like that. We'll do some more filter movement outside of the phase plant. I can also see a cool trick that is nice to do is have very few bands vocoder. So you go like 4 bands maybe, full range. And then have it modulate itself. Let's record this. I do like the low growling texture that we're getting here. I could see this being used in a track. For an intro, it's definitely a cool sound. So this is 23 then. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, we're 23. I'll do 3 more, 4 more. We'll have to check. But I do want to make some progress now on these. So let's do 2 small ones, 2 4-bar atmospheres. And we'll start off with... Okay, so I'm going to try to do something in VCV Rack, maybe a little bit different than we've been doing up until now. Okay. We want an oscillator. Let's see if we can find this little LFO here. Drone oscillator. Okay, so there's an input and output. This is addition. Should probably sound a little bit different. We have another one here. I'm basically just going to load up 4 oscillators, and we'll now go and get a mixer, just a simple one of these, where we mix the 4 together. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And get MIDI input in here. Let's collect all of the VSOs. And we have a gate for this one, apparently. Just going to change some of these buttons here. I want to keep the frequencies in tune. Bit of FM, bit of modulation and timbre, and we'll just select a random one there. This is kind of the fun way to sound design, I believe, just mixing and matching different things here. And when we record, we'll just record the output. So we get an audio output. Let's get an ADSR for this. And I think I could just set these here. And then set the gate to the gate. And I can just play with those. It's starting to sound nice, yes. And while I'm doing this, I can move around these values. So I'm going to record that while I'm moving values. And I'm going to give this a bit of space so I can start the recording early. I have all the time to set something up here. Let's just start with these 4 here. I'm going to put this back on the track itself, and then we'll record this not looped. Let's give this a bit of a fade in, not too much. Let's do it differently. Instead of fading it all the way out, we're just going to turn it down in volume. Give this a bit more, give this a little bit less, and then just go slightly down like this. Nice. Now we have number 24. This is a cool technique, by the way. just mixing different oscillators together. I can definitely see something like this in terms of atmosphere. I can see how you would use this in a track. This is definitely cool sound that we have here. So I'm happy with this technique. And it was also pretty quick. I'm actually surprised on how quick that was. Atmosphere 24C. We'll try to make 25 with this as well by changing it up so much in terms of the oscillator settings. And then also by recording directly from 8 next time. So I'm basically going to twist every knob on the oscillator except any frequency knobs. Just to hopefully change the tone up that we're getting. Get a different sound there. You have to go, I may come back later. Okay, nice. Hope to see you then, if you're there. So now we have a new version, hopefully. Let's listen to. Going to do the same recording trick as before. Okay. It's just a matter of copying over that there and then it's adding this one to it. That's not what we want. To record that sound. You can definitely hear that it's similar. Oh. Okay. There's a little bit of similarity to it, but that's okay. C. There we are. I hope you guys are enjoying this, by the way, the atmospheric sound design. If you don't like this, then let me know. We can also do just production if you find that more interesting. I'm okay with doing either one of them. It's just that I like to finish some of this stuff here, so you guys have a project or a product to look forward to. For the next one, let's do a 8-bar one. I can understand that this is maybe not the most exciting stuff being streamed, but it's pretty cool, I think, seeing some of the different techniques used for this atmospheric stuff. Let's see what happens if we just something like this is also interesting. It's a different curve, but I like the little bubble that it brings, the little volume bubble there. So this is 26 now. As I said, we want to go until like 27. How long have I been streaming? It's an hour and 44 minutes. So let's get to 2 hours in length. We need to save this one still. Let's get to 2 hours and then we'll start working on some production, some normal production. Let's make that half an hour instead of. So at 2:15, let's get into. In terms of stream time for me, so it's 1:45 just now. So in half an hour we'll get into actual production. Then I have another hour and 15 minutes to do some actual production, and that should be fun. Let's make a short one again. Why not? Those seem to go pretty fast. I'm flying through it a little bit. I'm not doing super excited stuff, although what we can do is to make something a little bit more crazy, just to make it a bit more interesting, is to do some vocoding. We'll go with something like Analog Crunch here. Let's hear what this sounds like. This should be pretty squeaky. That's pretty cool. So we'll have this go up in wavetable position towards the end there. And here we'll play a saw wave lower and then vocode it. Maybe let's set 12 bands here. A bit in format. Like this. Pretty strong sound here. We just need to get this to external and get it from 12 there. Hands on voice we don't have to do. It adds some weird pitching to it, but I kind of like it. It's a weird sound, but in a good sense. Okay. A little bit of a fade into it. Maybe not too much. Maybe let's just do it like a little bit there. To just roll off the start. So this is 27 right now. C. Since we're doing another half hour, we might be able to get to 30. And that would mean that we did 10 atmospheric sounds in a day, which is really good. That means that I should be able to maybe sit down one more stream and then just have the C section finished, because A sharp is now 36. I think I'll do C a little bit more, so around 42, 43 sounds in total. So that hopefully means that the next stream, if we continue on the same pace, we can get the C part finished, which is really my goal. So let's knock out a few of these sounds here, and we'll try some cool modulation techniques. Maybe we can do something with rewarping and then rendering that to the oscillator. There's one, and we'll do another remap, just one here. We'll do some like squeezing. Squeezes them all in one bunch here. And then this one is also like this weird looking shape there. Go 1 and 2. And let's see, what's the last time we did the long one? Let's do another long version. Going to set your velocity a little bit lower so we can set up the velocity trick with volumes, just to get a little bit of more darkness going on. As you can see, that does sound a little bit crazy. We can do a little bit of volume attenuation here. Maybe like that, and then we'll have the other one like this. Going to add an LFO to this for a little bit of extra movement. We'll add like a slowly sweeping LFO to this thing. And then towards the end we'll go up with the volume and down with the frequency. Just like so. I do like that. That sounds cool. especially the start or the end of it, where it sounds very high-end. Let's hope that we can hit that again, where it just, the LFO opens up towards the high end there. Okay, so we didn't get it opening up towards the high end, but we did get a cool sound there towards the end where it becomes darker instead of brighter, so I'll take that instead. That's also perfectly fine. What time is it? How much time did I spend on that? Not too long, actually. I'm pretty happy with these last few, how fast they seem to be going, because that's kind of the pace that I need to be on. Do I want to make this and finish this? Uh, 28C. If you really want to make work like this and make these samples, you just have to be fast, and that's why I like the workflow that we've set up, but also the speed of how my ideas are coming out today. Okay, so we're just going to, with that idea in mind, move on to the next. Let's go to one of these and just select a whole bunch of them, including 77, which I like very much. Okay, so we can process, normalize each, and then crossfade between them. That's sounding really good. Okay. It does seem that we have to do something about the volume, because that's not quite right. It's too full and open, I would say. So we'll do definitely some volume reduction here, a little bit less there, but basically like so. Something like that makes it look a lot cleaner, as you can see. But it also just gives it a nice pronounced volume over time. Add our fade to it. And we're really getting there. We're at 29 now. So we've made 9 atmospheres today, which I'm pretty happy with. And we have another 15 minutes, so we can get another 2 or 3 done. So this is 29C. Let's do something a little bit more experimental for these last 2 or 3 that we'll be making. I'm going to make another long one and then another 2 short ones, because we have another very long one here. So this is like the medium size basically. Let's throw down serum here. And let's experiment here. What I want to do is probably something with very fast oscillations here. So I'm going to go and find the frequency of the key of C, which we can use, 32.7. Nope. And we're going to set up some warping on this thing, or remap on this thing, and around the center we want to get some extremer tones in here. Set our phase to right before that. And now if I play this, I think if I place down an oscillator, we should be able to see the waveform that generates. I'm basically doing some AM with a very weird, how would you say that? A very weird shape here. That's the goal. It doesn't seem to like what it gives me. Yeah. That's what we want. And now we can give the weird filter something like the distortion. Let's go down and back up here for this one. Now with the ambience, it's obviously going to sound a lot better, but this is what we have now. It has a little bit of a vocal quality to it almost at the start. This vocally pitching sound is pretty cool, I would say. It's going well with my camera and everything. Let's hope that that keeps up. And we're at 30. We have made 10 samples today, which I'm very, very proud of. C. There we are. We'll quickly do a few shorter ones, and then we're done with today's sound design atmosphere part. And we can get into making some music for the last hour and a half. Cortex, how are you doing? Where can I send a request for upcoming streams? You can put requests in sound design request in my Discord. I've done the request for today already, yeah. So you go to my Discord channel and there's or to my Discord server, and there's a channel called Sound Design Requests, which is down here. And then you just post a link in here, give a little bit of a description of the sound and a timestamp so that I know where to look for it. And then for the next sound design stream, I will try to do whatever is in here. I basically do sound design streams whenever there's like 5 requests in here. So it's not that every stream that I'm online you will be able to see the request, but you can just already put it in here, and then next time I have 5 sounds that I can bundle together, then we'll treat it and see what we can find. Did I save this one? Yeah. Okay, so here let's not use Serum again, let's use Vital just to get a little bit of a different sound. We'll try some cool stuff with the modifiers here. Going to do some warping. Maybe. Create this bulkier looking thing, and then we'll fold it to like that. So now it's nicely weaving around that point basically. And I think with a phase shift and then just go even plus odd. Negative like that. We get a pretty cool, different looking waveform here. And we can do a little bit of phase disperse on that, just to get a little bit of crazy high end. And let's see what kind of tone we have now. Oh. Let's first draw in our note. Let's do this one octave higher actually. So we can now mangle with this stuff. Just a little bit of a cut off there. Let's see if we record this, if it has the volume that I wanted to have. It doesn't really look like it, so we're going to distort it going into it. Start with a little bit less gain and then just go into it like that. I'll maybe use some of these sounds today. I might try to do some cool sound design with it. (31C). Let's keep it here. We've done 11 sounds today. I'm pretty happy with that progress. As you can see, this is a whole bunch that we did, and there were a few more in this old 2 section here. I think 2 or 3 maybe. So we did a lot. Very happy with all of the sounds that I made. So I'm going to go into actual production now and just work on some music. That means I'm going to take another break, and during that break I'll just have you listen to the project. So for today's project, I think I want to go back on my more progressive sound. So that would be number 52. We'll save this, obviously, and I'll have you just listen to the track here. We'll do probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half of production more, and then I'll call it quits, because then we're like 3.5 hours, 3 hours. That should be good enough for a stream. I'll quickly fix myself something more to drink while this project is opening. Okay. Takes a while for the project to open. Let's see if Cortex did already send something. No, he didn't. Okay, so this is the project that I've been working on here. This has a little bit of load on the CPU, so it's not the best to play. But I'm going to play it once, take my break, and then we'll get into working on this track. What I want to do is I mainly want to focus on the bass edits there, and maybe some of the lead edits as well. So that's what we're going to be doing, and I'll be right back. should be back. I think I'm not muted this time. I'm almost thinking, just right now as I'm sitting here, to do it like this in the drops where there's not many bass edits. And then it becomes more stereo over time, right? So we'll turn it off like right there. So this is very mono, and then once our bass variations come in, which we'll make now. So let's just copy this over. See, we're going to make changes to this, definitely. Let's just listen. Obviously we also need to copy over this bass line then here to there. Maybe even 2 here. Okay, so this is F sharp. Let's go higher this time. I'm almost thinking of going to the 7th here. Going like up. 7 on both of these. And I will make a longer edit in there. Maybe this one here. Let's get it like this. Maybe that makes more sense like that, right? Let's see if is there something that we're missing for a long time. We haven't used this one for a while. What if we put these on that MIDI track there then? That's maybe better because it's different from this variation here. I do like our variation that we have now here. Let's add these together as well and then do how am I doing that there? I am pausing a little bit. Maybe it's a good idea to also have a little pause in here. I'm not going to have this high note here. Can do a last variation here of high notes. just kind of nicely fades out with that other one. What happens if we just don't have this one here? Maybe a little lower in volume. Comes in towards the end, have it. Just like that. I think that's pretty good. How long do I have still? I think I'll stream for another 40 minutes, maybe. So in that time we might be able to do the other bass variation here. And then finally, let's just copy this one over and see if that works there. And then we'll make a few smaller changes perhaps, just to keep it kind of different, right? So we'll move around some of these basses. One of this goes up, maybe like shift these two down like that. Have this play there, and then this here and here. I'm not really changing up any of the melodic part of it, but just basically playing different bass hits at different times, right? This one goes to there. I'm kind of just randomly trying, making sure that that the sounds that we have are just different. For this, we'll go like that, maybe. We've made a few changes already. We can put this one up there, so. I like how that last bit then sits in there, where it's just the last bit. I think I want to change some of these percussions. So this would be like that. We'll have to remove some percussions from this, right? So let's put this actually above here so it's easier for us to delete things. And then I'm just going to leave a few tracks of space here, basically. Except for the clap. We want the clap to be like that, so we can If we want, delete these. In this case, that one as well. Delete this and the clap there. Something like this, maybe. Maybe even remove that. Keep this off. Like this. Here again we're going to go silent with the drums and the same here. Don't have any bass stuff happening there, so we're going to remove that as well. Copy this over and instead we're going to keep this and we're going to remove it here and this one here, so it follows the same structure. We're going to keep in our bass stuff there, and then it's like this. Okay, so I think that would conclude all of our bass edits, and we've done drum edits as well, which is perfect. Let's see this. Do I need to change anything here? I think I already did this because this is minimal drum stuff. There isn't really anything going on. I'm quickly going to do our recording check on these two, see if they're sounding good, and we'll start here. Itchy nose. Allergy season is starting. good, yeah. And then we of course have this bass line here, which is this staccato thing with the kick. I do kind of like this sound here. Jon Kizzy, thank you for joining us. How are you doing? I'm just checking that everything that we're working on is set up correctly and sounding the way it should sound. We'll check this part as well. Of course, from starting from here to keep. Gonna make a few changes here. Let's turn off these kicks maybe. This is then our outro. Does that look good? Yeah, that looks pretty strong in terms of the look of the kick and the bass. That's pretty decent. Overall, this track is coming together pretty nicely. I wasn't really happy with how this track sounded when I started this project, like on stream. Because if you remember, we started this a while back and I had a lot of things that I didn't like about it. But I think with some extra lead stuff happening in here, we might be able to incorporate this, but in a different position maybe. Let's do it like that, and I will have that in the outro as well. Maybe copy over. I don't really know what this is, but I'm just kind of pasting it in there, and we'll see. Here there seem to be two lead tracks that don't have anything on them. Yeah, so we should probably remove those, both of them. Just to keep the project clean. We'll duplicate those two in there. Get some pads here. Get all of this here in the outro. And then that vocal thing in there maybe. Okay, let's set it to there. Let me just quickly assign that in the structure. That this is the post-stringing outro. I'll have to do the rest of the structure as well, but I really don't want to do that on stream because that's pretty boring. Just writing down the structure in the marker track there. So, I'm going to delete all of these vocals, by the way. I'm thinking of doing this track completely vocalless. No voice in there, just instrumental. Which is strange for me because I tend to really like adding vocals to tracks, but for this track I think it's already very, very busy, and then also having a completely worked out theme throughout the whole thing is just going to make it a lot more busy, and it's not really necessary for how this track is already sounding, I would say. So let's have a quick listen, see if we can find some weird thing. I think I had a list, right? Of things that I wanted to do. Incorporate main plugins. I've done some of these things already. Like that's build up section, or the another 16 bar section. We might do, yeah, build up here. Full stop. That might be cool, just to have it build up to this part and then have the plug and then all of the bass stuff come in. Those are the things that we're going to listen for. This track is doing pretty well. It doesn't really feel like it needs them. Here, yeah, we're going to do the full stop thing where we just turn down the volume right there, and then we're going to build up to that. So let's try do that. And I'll work another 10 minutes on that, and then I'm going to end the stream. Then we get to 3 hours, which is a nice time to wrap things up as well. So I can just grab one of my risers. I think, yeah, there should be a noise riser in here, hopefully, which we can then add to there. Let's listen to it though. Might be a bit aggressive for this track, but we'll see if that works. If we put it at like -30, it should be okay. We don't want this to grab too much attention. effect is probably cool. I was forgetting what key I am. I think I'm in F sharp here, yeah. So I don't have any F sharp risers per se, but I have... This is a long one. Let's see if we add one of these, if that makes it sound any better. Nope, this is the color. Let's just have it rise to here, and then it just completely falls off. That's looking cool. That's... I think in terms of breakdown and little feel, just having silence there works well. It really helps with getting this thing started, which I think is maybe a bit loud in context of the mix, so I'll turn that down a bit. You can still hear it, so that's good. Same kind of stopping thing here. Okay, let's play from here then. We record that as well. This works really well in contrast here. It's a little bit empty. But it has this cool building up effect to it, I feel. Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, as I said, I wanted to end the stream here. I was a little bit late today, so that's partly why I'm streaming a little bit less than I usually would. Maybe I sometimes aim for the like 4 hours instead of the 3. But I am going to say, seeing as I also am low on viewers and it's a Sunday evening, so that's also natural that I'm a little bit lower on viewers than otherwise. I'm going to end the stream here. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time for anybody that's still here. Next week we're probably going to spend longer time on production, and I might start a new song then. I'm not going to make any promises for when I will be streaming and how much time I have, but I'll try to do a live stream on Tuesday afternoon, starting around 5, I think, ish, maybe. Thanks, very useful and fun. Nice, great. So that's going to be it. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next stream. As I said, no promises, but for now this is it.